Other people that are coming in with us tonight. We've got Dudley coming in. We got maybe Southern Guilford coming in. John, good to see you.
Good to see you.
What kind of season? I know it's been a losing year. You guys haven't got the winning records you went looking for, but from your standpoint, what has happened this year that's been good for you? What's been on the positive for you this year?
Well, towards the beginning of the year, we have like a really young team, so it's been like a big rebuilding season. And but since then, we've started working together. Our coach has really set us up to do good, and we've really been working together, and we've got some wins in the last few games. So just really working together as a team, and just the young.
Who's been the toughest opponent you've faced this year? Who's been the toughest competition?
Well, we played Greensboro Day School.
Yeah, if you played them, we can go ahead and hands down. That's got to be probably the toughest. Yeah,
we played Greensboro Day School, Davidson Day, and Forsyth Country Day. So just a lot of big schools, and we're a smaller school, and we got dominated out there.
Yeah. How about against Greensboro Day? How'd you do in that game?
That game, it was a rough score. We lost by about 40 points, but
what did you salvage? What did John Brewer take out of that one? What's some things you came away from that game with?
Well, we learned how to work together better, more that game, and it was a very tough opponent. So we go out there with a very young team. It was obviously unbalanced, but we started to work together towards the end of the game and started to get more looks towards the basket, and we started scoring more.
How do you handle that ferocious defense? I can almost see you guys being a young Caldwell Academy Eagles team against a tough team like Greensboro Day. Got some experienced veteran players. How do you handle that defense? These guys are going to be all over you.
Oh, well, we had to stick to the plays, because we couldn't keep up with their pace whatsoever. It was just internally we had to know what we had to do. We had to run the plays crisp, because if we didn't, they'd kill us.
And you look at the season as a whole, how much time, how many games you have left? You guys are probably I would think maybe about 2/3 of the way through the year.
Yeah, we're about 2/3 of the way through the year. We have, I think, 7 or 8 games left, some hard games coming up, conference games. Got Westchester, the Burlington School, and so it's just going to be a tough rest of the year. We just got to win out. So.
To that Burlington School, I talked to their coach one day a while back. That's a tough team. Those guys have kind of come out of nowhere in some ways and surprised some people, and people are starting to learn more about that team and starting to find out more about those guys.
Yes, sir. That's probably the closest team to GDS we played. They're really disciplined, athletic, and they'll kill you. They'll literally break you down and press you, and you won't be able to do anything. So.
What's the game plan for you now? Are you a junior or a senior?
I'm a senior this year, and game plan.
Yeah, what's the game plan? Any colleges in mind? What's the future hold for John Brewer? What's the plan?
Right now, I have a few colleges looking at me, mainly William Peace University in downtown Raleigh.
Yeah, that's a good school to go to because it's still fairly new on the men's side of things. Yeah?
Yes, sir. And been talking to their coaches quite a bit, and we'll just see how it goes.
Any other area coaches in conversation? Some of them?
I've had Greensboro College a little bit, and then some just community schools. But other than that, not really.
So right now, William Peace is the front runner.
Yes, sir.
How many points a game are you averaging right now, you think?
I think about 17 points a game. 17 points a game, about 8 rebounds.
Not bad, not bad. What position? We hadn't seen you play because I haven't watched Caldwell yet this year. I know you got a very good girls team, and the guys team's been good in the past. What position do you set up at? Number 3 spot or 4 spot?
3 and 4. It fluctuates. We have 3 or 4. We have 2 bigger guys, so it just kind of fluctuates whoever's in the game. But mainly 4. So that's right.
You don't have some of the big guys you had in the past. One of your teammates, or maybe a guy who was at your school a couple years ago, was with you guys, went to Greensboro Day. Marshall McElect, he had left out. He was here a couple years. That dude was big.
Yes, sir. He was big. And then even before that, they had a few brothers who came in from Africa.
Yeah, I remember. What was Michael Kabani among them?
Yeah, Michael Kabani and then Mecca.
Yeah.
And they really helped us out. But yeah, now it's kind of rebuilding, so we don't have as much as the height. Although we do have Michael's brother.
What's his name?
Kachiku.
I've seen some of the names, yeah. Sometimes those names are tough to remember them all, but you just got to remember Michael's brother, cousin. They're all related, good basketball players, all talented.
He's developing, and he'll help the team out in the future.
What do you think this team can do, the Caldwell Academy team, the rest of this year? What do you think you guys can do in this finishing portion, the last third of the year?
We've really started to work together more, so we just have to literally stick to our game plan. We're not going to be more athletic than any other team, so internally we just have to know what we have to do on the offensive side and defensive side, run our plays crisp, and get the win.
What's been the biggest win you've gotten this year, you think?
We played Salem Baptist out of Winston-Salem, and we were projected to lose that, and then we were down 29-3, and we came back and we got a 4-point win, and that was last Friday. So.
That's not bad. A week ago, so you guys are a little bit of an upswing right now. Kind of the uptick, you might say. You were down 29-3.
Yes, sir.
What happened? What happened to turn that around? Did Coach call a big timeout? You guys had the big word one?
Yes, sir. Coach called a big timeout, and then got some intensity. We had a good student base place that game, so they started cheering us on and really got up the momentum. And it's just like it was just started flowing. We started running our plays crisp. So it worked
What do you
out
think the
well.
part of your game has gotten better this year? Which part of your game has gotten better, and how did you improve in that area?
Shooting, and it's my shooting has gotten better because we had some big kids come off JV. We have 2 big guys now. Last year I was the main big guy, so it's kind of pushed me out to the 3 sometimes, and I've really got to work on my shot a lot this year. So.
And you look at, here's a question for you, it's kind of in the news this week. When you get the basketball, does it matter how much air is in the ball? And do you try to measure the ball by how much air is in the ball at all?
No, sir, I don't think it affects me. I just think...
sometimes you wonder about the pounding of the ball, because some people, as far as the dribble goes, they like to pound the rock, as they say, and some people get a better feel for the ball if it's got more air or less air, but in your case, that's not a factor at all.
No, sir, because I don't play point guard that much.
What about the biggest influence on your basketball career that's come your way, other than your coaches? Who's been the biggest influence?
The biggest influence, just really my dad. He just taught me how to love the game and go outside, shoot hoops every
That's
day.
good. So you do go outdoors?
Yes, sir.
I encourage more kids to go outside. I mean, the NFL's got that deal, play 60. I say go outside every day. On a sunny day, get outside and play some ball.
Yes, sir. So he's been a big influence.
You and your dad go one-on-one in and get any battles going today?
Every now and then. Not recently, but I think he beat me the last time we actually played, which is a few years back. So
that's not bad. Here for your dad. You got any decent neighbors? You get any pickup games?
Oh yeah, I got some kids on the street. Yeah, like to play around some. So.
What kind of goal? You got the standard goal that sits alone by itself, or the kind of goal that's on the side of your house? What kind of basketball goal?
Well, we have one that sits on beside our driveway with kind of a wide backboard. We got it recently, so it's really nice. But it's like an indoor goal.
So you still appreciate the outdoor game?
Oh yeah, I love it.
Good to see. Love it. You ever? I go to Jefferson School. You probably know where that's at. That's where I shoot at on Sundays. It's up on New Garden Road.
Okay.
Not too far from your area, because you're Horse Pin Creek Road across New Garden. We're back on the other side, Jefferson School, and we've got like Forest Valley Court, all these different schools.
Yes,
General Green, you know where General Green is, I know, up on Redmond Parkway. They got the glass backboards out there.
That's how ours is.
I almost feel wrong about shooting those glass backboards in an outdoor goal. It just seems unnatural. Because the glass is supposed to be indoors. You got glass outside. What are we coming to? Some other questions for John Brewer at Shays Ridge for a Thursday night, the Basketball in Focus show. What have you learned the most from your head coach? I didn't mention the head coach. I mentioned your head coach. Give us his name. What's the most you've learned from him?
Keyshawn Bishop, the head coach. He was the prior JV coach at Forsyth Country Day. He came into a new program this year, and he's basically built us out of nothing. And he's really input his plays into us and made us learn them literally to death. And he's just really gave us a good name for our program, and he's really started to work with us.
So that overall record doesn't really reflect at all what the coaches put in for this team this year. You got to give him a lot of credit.
Yes, sir. It's all the credit to him because we're very young. So.
What about favorite sport other than basketball?
Football. I love to watch football. Love it.
But what, playing football too? Do any?
No, not a big fan of playing it, but I like to throw out in the yard some. But football is my favorite sport to watch.
And have you ever tried horseback riding?
Horseback riding, no,
That's
sir.
our question of the week. Last week I think we were asking about cross country snow skiing. This week we're asking about no horseback riding.
No, sir.
Might be in your future. Got to wait and see. We talked about how far you might see this team going. Are you guys still in position to be in the playoffs?
Yes, sir.
It's not that we got to win the conference tournament to get in the playoffs. You guys can still get in.
Yes, sir. We can still get in. We don't have to win the conference tournament, but we have to win out of the conference games, which is very possible. But we still have Burlington School and Westchester, which is two of the better teams, not just in conference overall this year we've played. So.
Gotcha. In basketball for you, I asked Coach Johnny Richardson about this. For you, is it about being fun or is it about being satisfaction when you win? Is a win fun or is a win satisfying?
I think fun. When basketball is fun for me, and it's also satisfying. So I'd say a little bit of both.
A little bit of both, then.
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite class these days? What's your favorite class over at Caldwell?
Favorite class would have to be history.
Yeah, doing so well in there, then?
Yes, sir. History at Caldwell is taught a little bit different. It's we don't use a textbook. We just go off documentaries and videos and stuff. But we
So you get to get on the screen a lot and get some videos.
Oh, yes, sir.
That's pretty good stuff.
Yes, sir. So
who's the teacher of that class for you? Who's the teacher's shout out go to?
Miss Cadlichek. Thank you, Miss Cadlichek.
So that's Peyton's mother?
Yes, sir.
Big shout out for Peyton Cadlichek's mom. Good family and a good score. She's going to get you about 20 points a game, and Hannah Hauser is going to get you about 15 a game. That's a good combo.
Yeah,
they were here last year. Very good kids. Miss Cadlichek is your teacher.
Yes, sir.
Solid. How about least favorite class? The one that's the hardest hardest class?
Least favorite class for me is math. It's not my strongest subject, but I still do pretty well in it because I just study and take my time.
It's all about basketball. You got practice at a certain time. You got class. You got to do it at a certain time. It's all when you practice, you work out. When you hit academics, you work out.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to see more and more. This is hard to put together. I'd like to see more and more students be known, maybe more for what they did in the class, what they did on the court, or just as much what they did in the class, what they did in the court. I mean, be known just as much for a student as you're an athlete. That helps.
Yes, sir.
And when they see you working in the classroom and giving the effort, I mean, even if you got to carry home a large load of books, take home a bunch of books. The kids at least try. So take the books home. At least they see you're making the effort, which I know you are. What's your GPA is probably what, 3.6 on a 4.0 scale?
It fluctuates between a 3.4 and a 3.6, and at Caldwell that's like really good.
Yes.
Our school is very challenging, very challenging.
Where did you go to school before Caldwell? Always been at Caldwell?
No, sir. Federal Street Christian School in Asheboro.
What is it again?
Federal Street Christian School in Asheboro.
The old Broncos, right?
Oh, no,
different one?
Patriots.
Patriots. I knew there was something like that.
Yeah.
Fayetteville Street, right on the main street when you go into town.
Yes, sir.
Go up the top of the hill.
Yes, sir.
I coached against those guys back in the day when I was coaching. Yeah, back Vandia Christian. Back in the day we used to go play Fayetteville Street. Yeah. Who you going to beat? Fayetteville Street. I remember we played them in soccer one year. I mean, I'm bringing up all my stupid memories, but anyway, the first time I coached a game against them in soccer, I think we beat those guys like 9-0.
Yeah.
I was from a football background. I said, let's just put points on the board all we can. Wasn't very familiar with the fact that soccer is supposed to be 1-0, 2-0. We just buried those guys. They had a kid on their team also. He was a real big kid. And so it was like I almost got in a fight with a kid on the other team. He was like in the junior varsity squad. He was a real big kid. He and I were almost going head to head during the game. Now, Fayetteville Street, that's interesting. Small world, but I remember that school like it was yesterday. Like it was yesterday. Again, John Brewer with us, Caldwell Academy with the Eagles, and the one class you could teach at your school, if they called you in to substitute tomorrow, what's the one class you could teach, you think?
I think history.
You take that history class to teach it then?
Yes, sir. I love it, and I think I can teach it.
That's good stuff. I still like that Fayetteville Street background. That's pretty neat. 20 years from now, what do you see John Brewer, 20 years from now?
Probably a financial analyst, or somewhere in the financial field. Maybe working in the bank or something. So,
that's good stuff. Good stuff. Here's one for you. If the Charlotte Hornets called you, whose position would you take? Would you take the place of the owner, Michael Jordan, the president, Fred Whitfield, who's a local guy? Would you take P.J. Harrison's spot, Kemba Walker's spot, Al Jefferson's, or maybe even Seth Bennett, another local guy who's their marketing man? Whose spot would you take at the Hornets called you?
Al Jefferson's my favorite player in the NBA.
Me too.
Yes, sir. I love his gameplay and
he's old.
pace,
to me, he's old school. Your dad remembers him, but Al Jefferson to me is like ABA all the way. The old American man. He's just a slow, methodical player who takes up a lot of space.
He does.
Doesn't give you any room. Gives you no room. He just gets the job done.
Yes, sir.
And very productive. I mean, he's coming off the bench this week, doing real well since he just rejoined the team. And the Bismarck Biombo guy with Jefferson going down. I mean, they gave him a chance. 12 points, 12 rebounds last night. This guy's playing well too. But Al Jefferson's spot, that's you.
Oh yes, sir, all the way.
Got you covered. If you could go back and redo or do a retake on your basketball career, anything you would do differently or change about your career?
I'm actually pretty satisfied with it, but it's just been a great experience, and so I'm pretty satisfied with it.
What about in the upcoming Super Bowl? Who are you going to be taking, the Patriots or the Seahawks?
Seahawks. I think Patriots. I'm not a big fan of them, especially after the
Deflategate.
So
you're going with the Seahawks then?
Yes, sir.
MVP Russell Wilson or Tom Brady? So you're going Russell Wilson?
Russell Wilson. He's a leader. So definitely.
He is a born leader, no doubt about it. What college do you see yourself attending? What ones you've been in contact with? We talked about a little bit earlier. William Peace is probably the one right now.
Yes, sir. William Peace for right now will probably be my first option.
William Peace is the one that's manageable. It makes sense. If you could choose any college in the entire United States, you just love to go to school there. What would it be?
Any school in the United States, probably North Carolina, University of North Carolina.
Join the Tar Heels.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. What do you would say your best basketball move is? What's your best basketball move?
I would say an up and under.
Okay.
Yeah, in the post. So I'm an undersized 4. So that's why I like Al Jefferson so much.
Yeah.
He's not the best athlete, but he just does moves and sticks to the basics and pump faking and up and under.
A lot involved with the footwork too, right?
Oh yes, sir.
Any fakes involved in that up and under move?
Oh yeah.
There was a fake involved for you?
Yeah, fakes and then spin around to the basket, hook shots.
When you want to be alone and work out on your basketball game, away from school, away from the crowd, is there a secret place where you go to work out, just get away from everybody, just work one-on-one just in your game?
This might sound crazy, but my driveway, actually, I have a membership to the YMCA, but it's always so packed, and like there's always games being played, and I don't see people who play games getting better, so I like going out.
Man, they play those games like shh.
Yeah,
I mean,
no defense.
No defense, and if you're playing defense, it's almost like the other guys are down there, you're up there playing defense, they're also on the other end waiting to get the ball back. It's crazy.
So yeah, I'll run the workout. I'll just run in my neighborhood, do a few laps, and then come out, shoot, get a chair out there, go around it and stuff.
So you definitely the driveway.
Oh yes.
Here's
sir.
a good question: is the driveway flat or is it slanted?
It's flat, totally flat.
Those slanted driveways are tough playing basketball. If the ball goes down the hill, you got to go get the ball.
Yeah,
and I've had a lot of courts I worked at too, and the ball went down the hill, went in the creek. I know you probably seen those a few times too. Again, John Brewer with us, former Fayetteville Street Patriot, right?
Yes, sir, Patriot.
Gotcha. And now a Caldwell Academy Eagle. Who's the athletic director at your school? Dan?
Dan Bozar.
There you go. I always got that question out for the kids. I make sure they got that correct too. You look at it overall, John. Where do you see this thing going after your basketball career? Do you see this continuing when you get in college? What do you think?
Yes, sir. I see it continuing through college, but and just being an experience for me in college and just learning more about it. And really, basketball is a game of life. Like, that's how I look at it. So just learning more about life as I play.
You probably see yourself playing maybe 15, 20 years down the road. If you're not playing for a team somewhere, you'll still be playing the game.
Oh, yes, sir. Coaching, yes. Little league or like Upward organization maybe.
Giving back?
Yes, sir. Giving back. So.
What the Upward basketball program, you mentioned it. Is there one you're tied in with now, whether it's church or place you attend?
Yeah, just really anything. Like rec, like if my dad coaches a rec team and I help him out
Where's
sometimes.
that at?
Randleman.
Oh, man, so you guys are still you still got that Randolph County draw and magnetism
yes,
down there.
Yes, sir. So he used to coach down there. He's coached my sister through the years, and I just help him with that. So
you guys work the youth program down that way?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And any Upward programs you're involved with now church-wise?
No, not church-wise, but that's what I'd like to do when I'm older, probably.
Sometime down the road. How about a teammate or two you give a shout-out to tonight? You mentioned a couple of guys. We were just kind of passing over these guys. Any teammates we can give the shout-out to off the Caldwell Academy Eagles team?
Jordan Harris and Akachiku. So.
Mention that second name again.
Akachiku Ekazu. I think
Akachiku Ekazu. Akachiku Ekazu. It's almost like that new guy with Wake Forest, Amadou, the Amadou guy. There was a guy in the Wesleyan game. I know Coach Richardson of Greensboro is gone, but they had a kid that was in the High Point Christian Academy game Monday. They had a kid on their team, High Point Christian, named Amadou.
Yeah.
So you've seen that guy, heard that guy then?
Oh, yes, sir.
Gotcha.
Yes, sir.
Is there a team you think maybe between Wesleyan and Greensboro Day, if they were to play for the state championship, who would you favor in that game? You leaning toward the Bengals or leaning toward the Trojans these days? Do they go head-to-head, maybe the state title down the road?
Well, I've watched both of them, and playing Greensboro Day, even they came out against a smaller, less athletic team. They played us like they'd play anyone. Real disciplined and.
Even though you guys, they knew you were going to be a little weaker coming in. You got to give Greensboro their credit. They came at it full charge in your game.
Yeah, they played us just like they'd play Wesleyan. So I'd give it to probably Greensboro Day.
Who did you match up against in that game? Do you remember which player you went toe-to-toe with, mainly from Greensboro Day?
I think it started out and I was matched up against Peter Abga.
Oh my gosh, what a challenge right there.
Yeah. And then they brought in someone else off the bench, a taller guy.
Yeah, the Walker kid, I think, came in off the bench. He's tall, kind of almost like the Marshall McAuliffe looking kind of guy.
A lot similar to him.
Walker Miller, I think the kid's name is.
Yes, sir.
Well, John, good job on your part. Thanks for being with us. Want to see you again down the road. Keep up the good work. Wish we maybe even see you again in the future. Your dad, thanks your dad, Robert, for coming in tonight. Just get about 10 more wins. You guys will be in great shape.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Keep working hard.
Thank you.
All right, Change Rib Shack for you Thursday.